Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day, great afternoon, great night, just a great time in general when you're watching this video. Today I want to do a little review commentary on WandaVision. I liked WandaVision when it first came out. I was watching it with someone at the time, and I really enjoyed the show so much so, they had already seen it, so I just, had them just go back to sleep and I continued watching it. I don't even think I left until I finished it, but I really liked it because Scarlet Witch is honestly one of my favorite characters. Not even just because of how much hype she gets because of the movies and stuff like that, but her actual character in the comics. She does a lot of crazy feats, and I like her origin. Overall, I would definitely give the show a 9 out of 10. There's stuff that it's not like CGI or anything like that was really a problem. It was just I wanted a lot more magic than we saw, and I wanted to see different things happen. Like I wanted the ending fight to maybe be a little bit longer. Like we would actually get to see Agatha use more of her magic. It's kind of something that happens in the next show a bit too. The whole ending fight is like a nothing fight. Overview is that the first 3 episodes, nothing especially kind of crazy happens. Episodes 4 to 6 have more things that happen in them. It starts building up to the climax. And then 7 to 9 is when we really get the conclusion. They start dropping a whole bunch of information on you. I personally think the last 3 episodes are technically 2 episodes, but including 7 are probably the best episodes out of all of them because we really get to see a lot of feats happen between the characters. A couple of the things that I liked seeing in the show that was really interesting that we got is we get to see White Vision. We get to see a little bit more magic than we've seen before. We get to see the Darkhold, which is a bigger book in the comics. We get to see Agatha Harkness, which is honestly one of my other favorite characters. And in the comics, she trains Wanda more. And honestly, I think if you watch the final fight, she actually does kind of indirectly train Wanda how to use her magic in a way, just because of how Wanda uses her magic already. We also get to see Spectrum, which is another one of my favorite characters. I love a lot of characters with multiple abilities or multiple different ways they get their abilities. Like there's another character in Marvel where he gets his powers based off of different music he listens to, but hers is from different colors of light. She can use different things. I think that's how it is in the comics and a little bit in the movies, but I think that's more accurate to her comic abilities. We also get my favorite character, Scarlet Witch. Well, she's not my favorite character, but she is one of my favorite magic users, all because of like all this stuff that's thrust upon her, and she is trying to be a different person than what this prophecy or whatever is telling her to be. In the first episode, we get kind of this suburban, lifey kind of story. It's introduced as kind of the whole show is a sitcom. Very introduced as an old styley sitcom, all black and white. Wanda and Vision are going through this kind of like normal, old-timey home life. Couple more things happen, and then the end of the show, we get to kind of see someone sitting behind a TV watching them. So it's like, is this really a TV thing? Are people trapped there? Like, what's going on? Now, keep in mind, this is after Endgame. Vision being alive is definitely fucking weird right now. And they're in this kind of trance throughout the whole series for a bit. Vision and Wanda are basically realizing they both kind of have a somewhat interconnected brain. Like, Vision is almost never smarter than Wanda about just about anything. It's kind of weird, but very subtle. And throughout this, they can hardly remember things until they slowly start coming up. And realistically, this whole show is a metaphor for Wanda's grief and just grief in general. And every episode is a different way her grief manifests. So in the next episode, we get a story about a talent show where Wanda and Vision are trying to do a magic show, which is funny, and Wanda has to kind of keep the ruse going because Vision starts kind of acting out. Weirdly, it's it's funny. If you think about it, the gum he's given is called Big Red. And in a way, it's like he got a piece of Wanda's magic stuck in him because her magic is red. And that caused him to start being unaffected by her powers briefly, because when this whole talent show is happening, he's unaffected by her magic. That's just a little pet theory for mine. End of this episode, two big things happen. Wanda appears to be pregnant, and everything goes from being in black and white to color. There was little notices of color throughout this episode, like appearing from a toy to blood, but at the end of this episode, we finally start seeing color in the story. So episode 3 is where Wanda gives birth to Billy and Tommy. If you know the comics, you know that's Wiccan and Speedy, or Speed, and those are her two kids that end up getting basically the same powers as Wanda and Pietro. End of this episode is when we also find out through a character getting ejected that Wanda has either directly or indirectly been in control the whole time. It basically starts being realized from everyone that Wanda might be doing more than previously thought, because they previously thought she was a captor as well. And in all of episode 4, everyone outside it's basically the reveal to episode 1 that this is all a show. It starts bringing up like the TV you saw at the end of episode 1, and they start talking and realizing that, hey, even though Wanda's doing this, she may even still not be a threat, because something could have happened. Mostly everyone who's really studied the metahumans, which it seems like Rambo did, she may know that Wanda couldn't control her powers and that she may just be doing this by accident. Episode 5 happens. That's when they start having more of a suburban life with the kids. As it's going along, Wanda is slipping more and more of her control of the town. They start asking her about acting, whether or not they should retake a line, or if they should do something else, or they start saying that Wanda will take care of it. Other characters start saying that Wanda will just take care of it and that the kids shouldn't worry. It's kind of like right in the middle of the show. This is when Wanda starts slipping more, because she's realizing that she is doing this when she definitely shouldn't be. She can't bring her brother back, she can't bring anyone back, and she especially can't bring Viz back, and it's just hurting more and more, and the slip starts to happen. So at the end of this episode is when we get Pietro, fake Pietro, comes in and starts basically rustling things more when we get into the next episode. Episode 6, Pietro is stirring up more with the family. Halloween happens. He's kind of weirdly trying to get details on the hex, which is interesting and kind of not at the same time. It's like, why is he asking? Why does he care? He's back to life, you know? Like, why do you care? And right at the end, Vision is getting out of the hex. He's breaking apart because he's supposed to be in the hex. He's a part of the hex. Wanda ends up expanding the barrier. And honestly, if you're quote-unquote watching the show, and even from these characters' perspectives, you should see that Wanda, even when she's realizing she's doing it, she's like, I was fine here. They were fine here. You guys are really causing me to do this more. And that's not really true, but it also kind of is, as you uncover more of the story, that one of the indirect bad guys, but later becomes the real bad guy, is actually pushing her to use more of her powers so he can use it to bring White Vision back. Well, Vision, but he's all white, and that's where the name White Vision comes from. So we go to episode 7, which is where Wanda has this whole breakdown episode. She finally gets really confronted by Agatha. She's been calling herself Agnes the whole time, but now she is directly Agatha. Fully witched out, revealing her bewitched basement and showing Wanda that she's he's been able to deal with her the whole time. We go to episode 8, and that's when we get Wanda's big origin. We get from how her powers originally started, the Mind Stone enhancing her powers, her relationship with Vision, and just everything all culminates together. And we even get a little bit here of Agatha teaching her a bit about what she's even doing with her magic, even indirectly, like how it's affecting everything. And then we get the reveal after this whole little OG shit. Wanda is using chaos magic, and she is the Scarlet Witch. And it's just so funny how, even though we can clearly see that this woman, and she has to be able to see it, that she has done so many things that she's never done with her powers before that literally don't include mind control and telekinesis, that like at this point you're in massive amount of denial. And that's part of it, you know, each episode is a part of grief. And we go to the final episode where Agatha and Wanda fight, and it's pretty crazy. It actually, even though it doesn't look that long, it is a huge episode. However, I wanted to see so much more of Agatha doing more than just these little blasts. And same with Wanda. I wanted like buildings being thrown at each other, or vines being thrown up, or necromancy. She even mentions necromancy, and I'm like, come on, let's see it. But we don't. We just get these blasty blast fights. And the whole thing rounds out with Wanda closing down her hex and seemingly accepting herself as the Scarlet Witch, because she takes the Darkhold and kind of like runs off to this area to try and study it. And honestly, I can totally understand why you wouldn't bring it to other people who may judge you for just enslaving a whole fucking town. But also at the same time, the Book of the Damned would probably be a book I'd be taking to a bunch of people, so when they watch me read it, if they notice it's starting to corrupt me, I'd be like, oh, 12 people are all telling me that this book is making me insane? Maybe it's time we get fucking rid of it. And as I am currently the most powerful magic wielder here, I would take it like a frisbee, throw it up in the air, and blast it. And there you go. Directed by. I totally get it, but we get this really cool shot of her doing like an astral projection movement, and she's like fucking using the Darkhold, and all these sigils and shit are all floating around her, and it looks so cool. But then we get Multiverse of Madness, and I'm trying to decide if I want to add this into my Agatha All Along review, same with WandaVision, but maybe I might have to, so that way I can comment on that too. Honestly, I'm going to comment between the original way it was supposed to be written, Multiverse of Madness, and then the movie, because that movie is so bad compared to the ending we could have gotten. Like the movie we could have gotten based off the ending of WandaVision. But I'm not even gonna go there. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. Honestly, the show is really good, and I think you should give it a shot. We get to see a lot of interesting things happen, from literal movie magic where they're doing old school style ways of editing and filming, and honestly, it's just really interesting. I think you should give it a watch. It's definitely worth it. If you can watch it without contributing to Disney Plus or Disney, that would be even better. But if you have to, watch it with a friend if you can. Find if they have a subscription and watch it there, and then you don't have to worry about it. That's it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace.